Mt Druitt is the place art goes to die. Or so I thought as an aspiring artist from the area.
I grew up around storytellers. First and foremost, my nana, my grandmother, she has this song that we all learn as kids. It's Whakawheta I kia sihova he okunene ia. Growing up my whole life, I saw her constantly painting on the nato, which is our version of stories and the way that we communicate our history. And so my grandmother really inspired the ability to be a storyteller within me. As the sun wore into evening, I looked up at Nana from the nato. This close, I saw that the marks on my grandmother's face were like the shapes on the nato. A blotch under her left eye, like a rock, was my father. Growing up, my dad was like God. He very much was the head of the family. He was this unmovable, large presence. And I remember one time, he just looked at me and he goes, "Should I have had you when I was a bit older? I love having you, you know, but also I had you too soon." And it was the first time I was like, yeah, like my dad is not God. From a teenager onwards, I just really tried to understand that my dad was simply just a human being as well. I think that's where the beauty of storytelling and the method of storytelling can really create that connection and healing. You know, by writing a dad character similar to my own, who was so silent and staunch when I was a kid, but softened over time. Growing up my whole life, I've had other Pacific Islander girls call me plastic and call me fake for not knowing the language. Yeah, I do get a little bit of eyebrows in the sense of like, you're Tongan as well, but... And so why are you the first writer? I feel like I just have a very spiritual connection to writing, and for some reason I did become the first Tongan-Australian to be published in this country, but I don't want to be the last one.
Completely written in Tongan as well.
Winnie Dunn is from Sweatshop, the writers' collective Muhammad set up for people of colour to tell their stories.
I really shied away from thinking that my own lived experience could contribute anything to literature because it was so demonised.
I am inspired by the African-American feminist and scholar Bell Hooks.
To bring up Bell Hooks, she brings up this concept called mirroring. The importance of being able to see yourself in a position of power, in a position of authority, where you've never seen yourself before, is very empowering. A young Pacifica girl that I was working with in high school, I also told her that I was Pacifica as well. She was just very shocked. And then she goes, "But teachers and writers don't look like that." And I go, "Well, you know, what made you think that?" We Pacific people in Australia, for the longest time, only had Chris Lilly as our representation. By the end of that workshop with that young Pacifica girl, she was like, "When you told me to write my stories down, I thought, who would care? You've shown me that people will care." And so I see the impact when Pacifica people pick up Dirt Poor Islanders because they say, "Oh, maybe I can do that."